Good evening and welcome to the Rowley Board of Selectmen meeting for Monday night. And if I don't put my glasses on, I can't see them right. May 7th, 2018, 7 p.m. at the Town Hall on Main Street in Rowley. First order of business, I'll call the meeting to order. And we have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I want to announce to everyone that this meeting is being video and audio recorded and televised live on Rowley Community Media. We have several appointments. We have a 7 o'clock appointment with the Agricultural Commission Chairwoman, Libby Tucker. We have a 7:15 appointment with Larry Berger of Pink & Company. We have a 7:30 public hearing. We have a 7:40 appointment with Joseph McCarthy. So, let's go with our 7 o'clock appointment. And we have the Agricultural Commission Chairwoman, Libby, excuse me, Libby Tucker, to discuss the following: draft of community garden rules, draft farmers market vendor policy, and request to use the town common for the 2018 farmers market season. Libby Tucker is here tonight to update the board on the Agricultural Commission's draft rules on the community garden and the farmers market. The rules for the community garden will need to be approved by the Conservation Commission because the garden is located on Concom land. The Board of Selectmen needs to approve the proposed farmers market vendor policy, and the Agricultural Commission is also requesting to use the town common for the upcoming farmers market season. Libby?
Okay. Well, first of all, the policy that you read is in your packet tonight came up because when the farmers market was started some 13 years ago, there was an understanding with the board then of the kinds of activities that would occur. We've always kept it as we never wanted it to turn into a flea market or a carnival. We've always kept it, local, with minimal craft kind of things that go on at other farmers markets, or that we've had various different kinds of vendors which Debbie didn't know about. So that's how we came up, we need a policy and we need to really look at and address, what activities were happening and moving forward, what activities can happen. And I think it was just a matter of, we were just going along. And they hadn't regrouped. So we developed a policy that would be inclusive of the kinds of things we've been doing. And certainly we don't, we're not expecting anything at the level of, say, Newburyport. If you've been there, it's quite, it's large and it's mostly crafts with a few produce vendors thrown in on the side. And we don't want to see it that occurring here either. So this is the policy we came up with over the winter. And, tweak it, we'll tweak it. We can discuss various vendors that we've had in the past, which we've included, like nonprofits. Debbie was surprised we had nonprofits, but we've had Scouts. We've had the Historic Society. And for a few for-profit organizations, solar energy, which we felt the farms are pushing for energy efficiency. There's lots of grants available through USDA and MDAR to be more energy efficient for solar and for wind power on farms. So we thought that sort of fit. Agriculturally related, environmentally related, recycling, kind of in harmony with earth kinds of vendors. Then we had the food vendors to supply, breakfasts and lunches, and of course great pies and yummy breads. And we had one guy who did some sort of seed mix. He was a food vendor who did get his kitchen permit. And then we've had very limited crafts. We were thinking about we do need some more attendees at the patrons at the farmer's market, and the crafts do bring in another realm, but we're trying to limit it to, in the past, we've always limited it to homegrown, like the sheep wool that has grown, the sheep live here in Rowley, and the wool gets processed and comes back and gets knitted up into a hat. The beekeepers have made beeswax candles. So we've kept it very limited to that kind of craft. We would like to expand it a little bit to include things that are kind of a recycled nature, and a little bit beyond having to be actually grown. For instance, maybe somebody does something out of driftwood. They collected shells and driftwood and made some little thing. We don't want to have all this stuff from China coming in and making a flea market kind of atmosphere, and not a way for those people to sell and make money. That's not our intention. It's try to keep things within, as I said, the framework of a agricultural kind of cycle of life kind of thing. So that's what we tried to cover in the policy here. The other thing that was mentioned is waivers, which we've never had waivers for the vendors. So we'll be happy to include that, but should that be a part of this policy statement? And just as another, I just gave Debbie a copy of the rules that we've always sent out kind of thing since the beginning. It's just a short list of rules. And whether, all these two things together are meet expectations and what we should be doing and that kind of thing.
Yeah, you're gonna bring this to the Conservation Commission for their approval.
No, this is for just the farmer's market?
Oh, well, we're only discussing the farmer's
We're only
market.
discussing farmer's market.
Okay,
Yeah, the Concom, I'll deal with Brent.
right, right.
Same kind of things are going on over there, so.
Any questions about the farmer's market?
No.
Have a motion?
Yeah, I'll give you a motion to approve the draft of the policy, and I'll also motion to approve the rules.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
Okay.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
I should have said.
You're all set?
Yeah, I just needed the tractor show, as I said, we never applied for a second thing about the tractor show either, but we did last year, and I put it on the policy, but we'll inform you of dates and whatnot. We already have the dates, because that's what we're gonna discuss next, right? These dates.
Yeah,
Because
so
that was-
the community garden, just so the selectmen know for your information, that's located on conservation land.
Right.
So it falls
Broad
under
Street.
the requirements of Article 97, conservation land, and the conservation restriction, which is being administered by the Audubon. So what Libby did was just provide the selectmen just the draft of her operating policies for that program. There's a user fee, there's a revolving fund that we utilize to care for that, and she's gonna be meeting with the Conservation Commission on that.
Good.
If there's any questions on that, she's here tonight to answer them if you had some just general questions.
Looks fine.
I've been a participant, I haven't recently, but it's a great program. I think it's great.
Yeah, and now we have, I had put a disclaimer at the bottom of our little rules about, but now we'll have the waiver as an official.
A consent and release is a recommendation from the town's insurance company for participants in any of our municipal programs or members of the public.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then lastly, in your packet, the second to last page actually, is the list from Agricultural Commission, Commissioner Diane Short regarding the proposed dates for the upcoming farmers market season. And the Ag Commission is looking for approval for those dates. So that's keeping in line with what they've done every year on the town common.
I think she put the tractor show dates in because we already knew it.
Yes.
We already know it.
Yeah, tractor show September 23rd.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 16th with a rain date of the 23rd.
Yep, it's September 16th, right?
Mhm.
September
Oh, yeah.
23rd.
Okay, so you've set the consecutive Sundays from July 8th, 2018 through October 28th, 2018 as the dates for the Farmers Market. The market will open at 8 a.m. and close at 1 p.m. As always, the trash will be removed from the common. On September 16th, 2018, we are requesting permission, the permission will be, you're requesting permission to hold an antique tractor show with a rain date of September 23rd, 2018. And to promote the farmers market, they are requesting a banner be secured onto the backstop on the town common. The banner will be well secured and maintained and removed promptly at the end of the season.
I'll give you a motion to approve. You good?
No,
Okay.
I'll give you a motion to approve the banner on the backstop.
And the dates
And the dates.
and the tractor.
Yep.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the banner and the dates in the tractor show. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right.
Thank you.
We didn't get the change in the Mike Sabatini and Diane's.
No, that posting isn't closed yet.
Okay, so we'll do it another time.
Yes, the date is sometime, I think,
All right,
next
it
week.
was just a change in staffing that we need to do, but that gets
We
us
do
away.
have Ms. Short's letter on the agenda.
Okay.
She's seeking not to be
Reappointed.
reappointed.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Okay.
That's-
Thank you very
and
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll have public comment open for the next 5 minutes. Okay, we have a 7:15 appointment with Larry Berger of Pink Company to discuss the following Pine Grove School building project items. We have a letter of recommendation for furniture purchases, subcontractor release update for shoring, an update on placing approximately 10 40-foot storage containers on the town property near the school, and an update on the project. And we'll invite Larry Berger to speak.
In your package, you have on Dorn Whittier letterhead, there are, and they're from Margaret Daly, there are 2 letters of recommendation for the purchase of furniture for phase 1, which carries through till September of 2018. The first is to a company called Red Thread, and their contract amount is, or the contract amount that we are requesting approval to issue purchase orders against is $127,274.53. In the package, there is a spreadsheet which shows the 3 companies that responded to the RFI for these furnishings. Also, there is a list of what their bid amount includes in terms of the types of furniture, and the Red Thread bid includes everything that was in the RFP for this phase, except for some stools, and they were unable to provide that particular item or put a value to that particular item. And then you have a second request for recommendation for $1,906.56 to Creative Office Pavilion, and that is for the stools that complete the entire furniture package for phase 1 that was recently put out to bid. There will be a second request for proposals for the balance of the project phases 2 through 5. At the current time, we don't need to put that out to bid. It will come in probably about a month's time. Phase 1 is critical to meeting this first construction phase that we're in now. And if there's any questions, I'll.
Just a general question.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me, one other thing.
Okay.
Let me, the budget, the budget that was developed for this phase exclusive of setup and delivery, was $125,000. We are slightly over, however, the bid includes the setup and delivery of all the furnishings in this phase. We still have, we still have the second phase to go, and that by the time we are done, we could conceivably be under budget. But right now, we're a little over $2,000 higher than what we anticipated the budget to be for the first phase.
Yeah, my general question is this, we're doing this in a phased construction.
Correct.
So come September 1st, or whatever the date is, you turn that portion of the building back to the school or back to the town. And normally in these kinds of projects, when the project's all done, we go through and check everything and sign off, yep, we buy it, we own it. What happens in this case? In other words, you turn the stuff over to the school is in there for 3 months and discovers that something's not right. How does that whole thing work?
I'll answer it in two parts. All the equipment that is being bought in this phase, as it comes on site, it will be checked against the order, checked against the specification of the order, and then put into use. If we discover that there is a problem with the furnishings, then we will go through the recourse of the warranty with the furniture. And if, I guess, we have to make adjustments because we're finding that something doesn't meet the performance, we can look at making those adjustments, because we obviously don't need 400 or 800
Right.
desks that have a problem with the legs, for example.
All right, so going beyond the furniture, in other
Yep.
words, I guess my question is going beyond the furniture. In other words, you do
Yep.
the kitchen.
Mhm.
So the kitchen will be in use when the kids go back to school in September.
Correct.
Does that mean that we accepting that kitchen
At
at
each
that point, and that's ours, no matter what, or is there a?
Yes, because what will happen at each phase, we will close out each phase just as you would. It was the very last
This was a complete project.
day on the project. So we will be looking at 5 different punch lists, issuing of substantial completion certificates, getting temporary C of Os from the building department, all of which will be tied back to the plans, the specifications, and the performance of the work, to make sure that it is indeed as specified. And all the engineers get involved. They will check it for conformance with their specifications as well as performance, so that in the case of, say, the HVAC, there'll be a individual test and balance report for that phase. It won't just be a year and a half later that somebody comes in and balances or
Okay, yeah,
tests the system.
That's all I want to know, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I'll give
Any
you,
other?
I'll give you a motion to approve the furniture bid as submitted.
Second.
Motion's been made to approve the furniture bid. Do we have any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. No paperwork to sign.
No, not with this. What will happen is there's a purchase order will be issued to the vendor based on this information.
Thank you. We have a subcontractor release update for sure.
Yeah, as we had discussed earlier, WT Rich we have the GMP in place. There are still items that are being bought out. One of the things was shoring. It's one of the line items in the GMP with an allowance. And I just wanted to update the committee that they've let the first shoring contract out in that line item. There's still dollars remaining. We aren't through with buying out the line item, but we haven't. The allowance is still holding as it was originally presented, and against the work that's been released to date. So I just wanted to update the committee on that.
Thank you.
I'd say the Board of Selectmen on that. The last time we met, I had asked if there was a place that we could have off-site the storage of up to 10 40-foot trailers. Initially, we were looking at the land immediately adjacent to the existing rec fields, which we understand is going under construction very shortly. We were offered a piece of property or a location in close proximity off of 239 Main Street. And we have checked that out, and we feel that it will work to meet the needs. It's not so far away, and the contractor, even if he was on the, I should say contractors, if they were on that adjacent piece of property, would still need to offload the trailers onto pickup trucks or other trucks and bring it into the building or into the site. So if that land or parcels are available, we'd like to take benefit of that for the first year and a half of the construction.
Yeah, it's an affordable housing property on, at the Brad Street Farm.
Brad Street Farm.
Right next to where the dirt pile is there.
Correct,
that area.
correct, yep.
I'll give you a motion to approve the
Second.
storage areas there, storage containers.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the storage area for 10 40-foot trailers. All those in favor say aye.
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 And in terms of project update, we continue to be working in the all-purpose room and the old kitchen. We're wrapping up some of the demolition as we speak this week, and we are going to be starting the installation of underground utilities as well as overhead utilities in both those locations. I think if anybody has been by the site, they'll notice that it's been fenced. A scrim wall has been put over the fencing. It's the green fabric. The areas of construction and the school have been isolated so that there's no chance. I guess there's always a chance if you climb the fence and hop over, but there's no easy way of having students get into the construction area or parents and some of the residents who still utilize the fields, in the off hours. The area has been very well delineated and is set up for the future gates once summer rolls through and the school is out for vacation and the contractor takes control of 100% of the site. We have also started a little bit of site work in the back with the removal of the topsoil in anticipation of installing underground structures in the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Is there gonna be excess topsoil over there when, in the end, like at the police and fire, we had excess topsoil?
Yeah, I'm not sure we will
Not
be in
anticipating.
that position.
Okay.
I think we might have some excess subsoil or subgrade soils, but
I
I'm
don't
not.
believe there's a plan to stockpile on site.
Right, okay, so that's all, that was just my
I don't believe
question.
there is.
Otherwise,
The plan is to not keep any
we
on
pretty
site.
much use whatever's there and reuse it.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
All set?
And unless anybody has any direct questions, yes.
No.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
The time has been completed for the public comment time, and we will move on. We have a couple of minutes. We could go to general business. Honorable board members, general business number 1. Honorable board members, Principal Assessor Sean McFadden graciously donated 4 new flags to replace the tattered flags that were in front of the memorial on the town hall lawn. There will be an item on Monday's agenda to accept this donation.
Give you a motion to accept and a letter of thanks.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept with thanks. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. General business number 2, we have a request from the Neurofibromatosis Northeast to hold annual Coast to the Cure bike race through Rowley on September 8th, 2018. Please see the attached request from Neurofibromatosis Northeast for their annual Coast to the Cure bike ride to come through Rowley on September 8th, 2018, and to set up a rest stop on the town common. The Rowley roads included are Cross Street, Central Street, Bennett Hill Road, Weathersfield Street, Independence Street, Summer Street, and Main Street. Although the request indicates that they are requesting to use the town common as a rest stop, the event organizer informed us today that the rest stop will be moved to a different town. The police chief, fire chief, health agent, and highway surveyor have reviewed this request and do not have any questions or concerns.
I give you a motion, Mr. Chairman. Accept it.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the race, the Cure bike race through Rowley. All those in favor say aye.
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 Mr. Chairman, I recuse myself as the director of the Historical Society.
Thank you. And general business number 3, due to the Rowley Board of Selectmen, due to personal reasons, I am asking that I not be reappointed to the Rowley Agricultural Commission when my term expires on July 1st, 2018. Having been on the commission since its inception in 2004, it has been a pleasure to advocate for Rowley's right to farm bylaw and to help protect what little agriculture is left in town. I thank you and Town Administrator Debbie Egan and her staff for all of their support. Diane P. Short.
Give you a motion, Mr. Chairman, to accept the resignation and to give her a letter of thanks.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept the resignation and a letter of thanks. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. We will go to our 7:30 appointments. We have a 7:30 public hearing. Michelle Moon, Rowley Veterans Association, for an alteration of premises liquor license application. Chairman Perry reads the notice of the public hearing. And this is from the Daily News. Town of Rowley, notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given in accordance with Chapter 138 of the Mass General Laws as amended, that the Rowley Board of Selectmen will hold a public hearing to be held on Monday, May 7th, 2018, at 7:30 p.m. in the Rowley Town Hall, 139 Main Street, Rowley, Mass., upon application of Rowley Veterans Association, Inc., manager Michelle Moon, for an alteration of licensed premises to include a roped-off area of the parking lot adjacent to their side entrance for their existing club license. Business is located at 19 Bradford Street, currently consisting of a lounge and a service bar downstairs and an assembly hall and service bar upstairs. Anyone wishing to comment should attend this hearing. Written comments will be accepted. Joseph Perry, Chairman, Rowley Board of Selectmen, 4/25/18, April 25th. 2018. Call for a motion to open the hearing.
Give you that motion, Mr. Chairman. Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to call to open the hearing. Is that a roll call? No?
Doesn't have to be, but.
Okay. All those in favor of opening the hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Chairman Perry states that the hearing was advertised in the April 25th, 2018 edition of the Daily News. Chairman Perry reads the withdrawal letter from the applicant into the record. Dear Board of Selectmen, I would like to withdraw my application for a seasonal license at this time. I would like it to be put back on the agenda on Monday, May 21st, 2018. I feel as though I didn't have all the information I needed and need some more time. Thank you, Michelle Moon.
Mr. Chairman, the letter says that it's a seasonal application, when in fact, the application is an alteration of premises. This is using the state ABCC form. So there was a discrepancy in the withdrawal letter saying seasonal, when it's actually an alteration
Okay,
of premises application that they're withdrawing. So we want to make sure that the board is clear on that.
that it's the application
Did
for
run this
the,
by the town's attorney.
right.
I'll give you a motion to accept the withdrawal of the application for the alteration of premises.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the withdrawal of the applicant, by the applicant. All those in favor say aye. Aye. I call for a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make the motion.
Motion's been made.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye. Aye. The board votes to allow the applicant to withdraw the application. We did vote.
So if anybody's
Outside
here,
of the hearing?
if anybody's here for that hearing, it's been postponed.
Mr. Chairman, it's not been postponed.
Right.
It will have to be refiled.
Withdrawn.
It will have
Refiled.
to be refiled, and that, the deadline that the applicant is suggesting isn't feasible in order to meet their filing requirements in terms of getting a legal ad in the newspaper, notification to abutters by registered mail, and then a review by your department heads for input. So I don't think that is something
So
that
we
can
won't be able
done.
to do it for the 21st.
Yes, I defer to Amy on that.
No, we don't have enough time to do all of that.
Okay.
Because the legal ad has to be published no less than 10 days before the date of the public hearing. So that's in 2 weeks. And we
Right.
don't have, this application is being withdrawn. A new application needs
Has
to
to
be
be
filed.
submitted. Okay,
So basically, if you're here for that, you'll be notified with registered letters if you're a butters. If not, you need to watch the newspaper for future hearings.
okay.
So I'm not familiar with the process. Would we be able to speak to this, or should that be done at a later date?
There'll be regular public hearings.
When we have the public hearing.
You'll have
be
a
able
chance to speak, definitely.
Okay, thank you.
That's the idea of the public hearing, is everybody has a chance to speak.
May I ask, should we have received a registered letter about this?
I think that's part of the problem, so I
Okay,
think that's
okay,
why it's all
because-
been postponed, because of proper procedures and timeframes
I
and
see.
so on and so forth weren't followed through, so that's why it's been withdrawn. The organization was advised to withdraw the application and then resubmit a new application and do all the proper advertising and letters and so on and so
So
forth.
from now on, they won't have music going on there on Saturday?
Well, this has got nothing to do with what they're doing there now. This is
Oh.
strictly about the outdoor
Right.
thing.
Okay, just the outdoor thing
Right.
won't be happening?
No, not
Not
until
until, okay.
they must get approval. Okay?
Okay, so the hearing's been closed,
Okay,
and we will reschedule, and we will let you.
okay.
Thank you for coming in.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Be in touch.
Why don't you sit up right up front, please?
Okay.
That way you're better on the speaker that way.
Okay, great.
Okay. We have a 7:40 appointment. We're just a minute or so off with Joseph McCarthy, president of the Ipswich Pharmaceutical Associates, to discuss Ipswich Pharmaceutical Associates, Inc. host agreement for the siting of a marijuana a medical marijuana treatment center and an adult use marijuana establishment in the town of Rowley. Joseph McCarthy, President, Ipswich Pharmaceutical Associates, to discuss Ipswich Pharmaceutical Associates, Inc. host agreement for the siting of a medical marijuana treatment center and adult use marijuana establishment in the town of Rowley. Joseph McCarthy has signed the host agreement that was reviewed and edited by Town Council Tom Mullen. Mr. McCarthy is seeking the board's approval of the host agreement. If the board is in agreement, the board needs to vote to sign the host agreement. There are 6 originals in the chairman's folder. His next steps will be to meet with the planning board to start the permitting process. Discussion?
Maybe you can give us a quick review of the agreement for the purposes of.
Yes, this host agreement is a dual setup. One is set up for a medicinal setup for patients, and one is set up for a recreational adult use. For the medical patients, which is a no-tax base, to which the product is an entirely different product also, which is a medical product. The dosages are entirely different, a different line altogether. That's where the security comes in. We are giving to the town for the availability of doing business in Raleigh, 3% on the gross sales out of that recreation, out of that retail location at 116 on Newburyport. With regards to the adult use operates in an entirely different fashion. The dosages are much less in dosages. The example would be a patient who has a card from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts may require a dose of up to 100 milligrams per piece of chocolate, whereas the adult side, we call it recreational adult side, would have a maximum of a 5 milligram. So there's an entirely separate counter, entirely different checkout counter. That allows us to keep inventory separate and our tax money separate also. Along with the adult use, on our gross sales out of this facility, we're adding on 3% on top of the, I believe, the 3% tax that Raleigh had added and the 10% to the Commonwealth.
So there's no tax on the medicinal, right? But there's still,
Not to the Commonwealth.
but there's still, or not to the town either.
No, but we
But
add
still
3%.
Local impact fee of 3%.
That's correct, the 3%.
Same thing on the recreational.
That's correct.
Right, plus the tax.
Plus your tax, plus the 325, 375, and the 625, which you collect from the Commonwealth at the end of the year, or somehow they credit Raleigh. Ours is delivered. Our payments are delivered the 14th month after we open. On the first day of the 14th month after we get permitted to open up on our retail sales. So if we were to open up, say September, August or September, you would see a payment from August, you would see it as September, October of 19. Correct. And thereafter.
It had, refresh my memory, has the state come out with the final approval on the recreational?
Yes, what happened was the Commonwealth of Massachusetts has a priority list that those that had a final certificate or a provisional certificate could apply. We did apply, and we were approved. We have a certificate number. We have had our community outreach programs already in Beckett, Massachusetts. Hinsdale, we didn't require one because we have a medical setup up there also, but as good community members, we still have that community outreach going. And tomorrow night is our community outreach for Raleigh here. We advertised last week in the paper that we would hold a hearing up in 116. Welcome to all the town. And what we have is a standard form that the commission has given us. 5 questions to answer with regards to how the it's distributed, how the security is set up, the whole process itself. This is a very typical bunch of group of regulations that we've proposed every time that we go to these community programs. Plus, it's actually right from the Commonwealth itself.
And where's the program?
116, no, at our facility. Yeah, we felt
Facility.
that normally what we would do is we would, if we had a lot of lead time into this, like out in Hinsdale and Beckett, we call the selectmen and ask them to use that facility. But because of the lead time that we had with regards to the Commonwealth and requiring us to meet, particularly so the community outreach program, to make it as quickly as possible. So that's why we used our facility.
Mr. Chairman, in your packet, the last page, you do have a copy of Mr. McCarthy's certification number from the Cannabis Control Commission. So he did submit that.
Wow.
Okay.
So your next step is applying for a special permit from the planning board, is it?
That's correct. What I did was, we have, I believe in front of you, you may have all the engineering reports, traffic reports that we've already completed. We have the abutters list that's completed, along with the community outreach that has been posted in the paper last week. That is all part of that program. What we didn't go forward with yet was a site plan. And the reason why is because I was gonna ask the planning board on their opinion, because we're not changing the site, we're not even changing the actual use of it. It's the same use style of site. So up until, we would like to see if the board would give us a waiver on the site plan. There's ample parking there. In the traffic review, I believe it indicated that there was ample parking. Time of delivery of both sides of site plan. Also the bushes, the greenery, all was well intact with, we wouldn't change. But of course, it's up to the planning board to decide how they would want us to approach it. Without having to go through the whole engineering process again with a site plan, it saves about 6 weeks or so. And with that 6-week process, it brings us to the opening bell of the availability for the RE and the medicinal sales. We do have the availability while our cultivation facility is being built right now in the Hinsdale location to purchase wholesale from another certified cultivator. We've already been working with that to ensure that Rowley is our first store that we're going to get up and running, to ensure that we have enough product to move that forward.
I noticed in the traffic study you mentioned that you're not gonna open before, you're not gonna open after 1 o'clock?
During July and August, yes, we feel
You guys
that
understand?
this is a new industry. We feel that we have to do this gradually. We have to show that there would not be any impact on anybody, and we would just like to come back to the board at another time to show that an impact study. I have been to other dispensaries, and they do close down, believe it or not, at times. And some of the towns, the impact for them is financial, and it's all on the town itself. That's why I would request to come back at another time and possibly go over some numbers and talk to you gentlemen to see how you feel about the other additional hours, so.
Any question? Motion?
Bernie, you got a question?
Bernie?
Yeah, the 14 months before the town receives any payments, is that a state stipulation or is that a negotiated agreement? Why not 6 months? Why not 3 months?
Because of, it's not a state stipulation, it's our standard language in all the other towns. It gives us the availability to at least get some capital running. We don't want to give you a check that's no good. We need a year to get this going. And our payments are annual, whichever way we, and once we get the first annual payment, if you want us to come back and give it to you on a fiscal time, on a July 1st date, then we would work that up. We would like the opportunity to at least give the first payment 14 months after we open.
It was the same deal for the other entity.
Yeah, I think it's,
So,
you gotta have time to get the place up and running and hopefully make some money for all of us.
It's a new industry, it's something that we're all gonna have to grow in together, I hope, so.
Yeah.
And Mr. Chairman, that's on page 2, under the host community payment sections.
So you need a motion to accept the host agreement, is that what, accept?
Mr. McCarthy signed off on what the town's attorney had revised, and that's in your packet. So at this point, I've carried it as far as I can until the Board of Selectmen approves it. It's been signed off by Tom Holland.
I'll give you a motion, Mr. Chairman, to sign, accept and sign the host agreement. Second. As presented.
Motion's been made and seconded to accept and sign the host agreement. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So we have 6 copies.
All right, good luck with the planning board.
Well, thank you very much, and you're all welcome to come down and see how we work the operation. I'd like to actually invite everybody before we open.
What time is the hearing tomorrow? I know
It's
my
six-
wife mentioned she saw it.
6 to 8, it was in the paper.
6 to
right,
8
yeah.
tomorrow night?
6 to 8, it's just a get to know, look the facility over, do a little walkthrough,
Right.
questions, so a little tour.
Try and get there if I can.
Okay. Thank you very much, I'm looking forward to being a good business partner here. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I can leave, right? I can leave?
Yep, you're all set.
Oh, you have to stay to move the chairs.
Turn out the lights.
Okay, going back to general business, number 4. General business number 4 is May 2nd, 2018, Raleigh Town Hall, 139 Main Street, Raleigh. Attention, Board of Selectmen, regarding the use of the Margaret Scott Green. Gentlemen, the Raleigh Historical Society respectfully requests the use of the Margaret Scott Green at the intersection of Main and Pleasant Streets on Saturday, May 19th, for our annual plant sale. This event would run approximately from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll need to set up about 7 a.m. and will be clear by 4 p.m. With your permission, the rain date is Sunday, the 20th of May. Respectfully submitted, Susan G. Hazen, President, Raleigh Historical Society.
Mr. Chairman.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the request from the Raleigh Historical Society. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Mr. Chairman, I recuse myself,
Thank you.
the Director of the Historical Society.
Thank you. Old business number 1, update on the fire station and police station addition project. I did ride by today on my way home from my weekend.
Yeah, the weather's been good, they're moving right along, they got the steel up for the police station, and I believe they're looking to put the steel up for the fire station in the next week or so. They're getting ready to pour the floors.
Right.
And everything is, the weather's holding up real well, so everything is moving right along out there. I don't think there's been any problems to speak of.
Excellent. Looking good with all of that steel up over at the
Yeah, it's
police
starting to look like
station.
something
It's, right. Okay, moving on to old business number 2. We have a recap of April 30th, 2018 annual and special town meetings. Town meeting was held in the gymnasium due to the Pine Grove School construction. The space was large enough to hold the town meeting. We didn't have the ability to show it live on local access cable television, but it was video recorded and shown on Raleigh Community Media. Chairman Perry will ask the board members for their thoughts.
I thought it was fine, that room, and I actually preferred it to the all-purpose room for the reason that we're not on a stage. We're down on the same level with everyone. And, you know, I've never really liked that stage. You have to walk up and down, and someday someone's gonna trip and fall.
Oh, the new one's gonna have railings.
Oh, okay, well, that's an improvement.
And it won't be as high off the floor as the
Well, that-
existing.
Yeah, be handicap
That's good
accessible
but-
too.
But I actually like that, you know, the gym better than.
It went very well. I thought it was, I liked it too myself, to tell you the truth, although the town moderator got a couple of complaints that we couldn't be seen.
Yes.
No,
So that was an issue, but Other than that, it went
Well, that's
smooth.
a good thing.
There was only a few standees, and there were empty seats, if most people could have sat down. And it was a good-sized crowd because of the issues involved, and I thought everything moved much better than we probably anticipated as far as.
Right.
The school did a nice job of setting everything up. and-
Yeah.
I did typically get myself in trouble Friday morning when I thanked the custodian, Frank, for setting up the chairs, and I was told that the custodian was busy doing other things, and that Principal Dealon and several other individuals helped set up all of the chairs. And I would like people to know that we had a registered attendance of 308 people there Monday night, and there have been many a town meeting where I've sat up on stage dialing on my cell phone, trying to get my wife and other individuals to come down so that we could have enough for a quorum of 100. But we had 308, and it was well attended, and everybody did a good job. There were questions asked, and people listened to the response, so I thought it went very well.
Yeah, the one thing I wanted to bring up was there's a Rowley, so-called Rowley Talks website on Facebook. A lot of questions and concerns about the town meeting, how it runs, how it's set up, what the laws and rules and regulations are. So the town clerk provided the town moderator with a copy of the Citizen's Guide to Town Meetings, which is available from the Secretary of State's office. So if you go on the website, go to the Secretary of State website, which is www.state.ma.us/SEC/CIS. If you go to that website and then go through the various titles they have there, you can pick up a copy of it, which is about 10, 12, 14 pages. Explains the town meetings, how the town meeting votes, how towns of our size, why there's differentiation between having a town meeting, a representative town meeting. A lot of questions that people seem to have. And this you don't have to buy this. It's actually available. You can get a copy, but if you can just read it online. They have you can read it online and print it off your own copy. So it's a valuable document for people who seem to be a lot of interest this year with the school issues and stuff of how the town works, how the town meeting works, and why we do it, and some of the historical significance, et cetera. So it's an interesting document. Plus, the Secretary of State has multiple other documents that are informational pamphlets and stuff that the public may be interested. So it's just a matter of a citizen's interest. If they're interested in this, it's a good spot to get the guide and take a look at and understand what we do, how we do it, and the idea that we run everything by state rules and regulations come from the state laws, and the town bylaws, the zoning bylaws are all voted on by the town meeting. So there's nothing that we as a Board of Selectmen do arbitrarily. It's all either by state law or by the town meeting votes that have created the bylaws and the zoning bylaws, et cetera. So people should understand. The only other thing I had was we did have some questions on the annex and the money to repair the annex. And there was a few comments about, well, why don't we move out of the annex altogether and just don't put any money into it, which doesn't leave the Council on Aging any place to go, number one. Number two, it really, it's a historic building, and if we don't use it, it'll fall to rack and ruin over time. And the other suggestion was, well, why don't we rent out the second floor and make some money off the second floor of the building? And the only problem with that is, in order to rent the second floor, we have to make it handicapped accessible. So we have to, for anybody to use the second floor, we have to make it handicapped accessible. So like I said at the town meeting, and we're hoping that we make other arrangements and not ever have to use the second floor. But in the meantime, the money that we did allocate at the town meeting for the first floor is really badly needed by the Council on Aging and other officers there, because there's so many elderly, and go over there on a Monday when they have meals, or other times you'll see people coming in with wheelchairs and walkers and canes and stuff. So we really need to update that building if we're going to use it. And I don't think any one of us wants to see it fall to rack and ruin. It is a valuable resource for the town, and it's a solid, well-built structure. So we don't want to abandon it. And if we, that's about it. I just want people to understand that You know, the things we do it for a reason, and we're not just here trying to spend money for no reason at all.
It's amazing, the small space available to the Council on Aging, that it gets a lot of use. Every Friday morning we have, well, last Friday we had 16 people in playing cribbage, and you had another 4 individuals playing mahjong. So it does get quite a bit of use by the seniors.
And the other issue that kind of seems to pop up there is, what the CPA money, where does it come from, and, you know, so on and so forth. And I think the big issue there is some people talk, why don't we eliminate it? Well, it was voted in, I believe, in around 2000 by the town meeting vote, and it's 3%. And because we have a debt obligation for the Brad Street Farm and the former Girl Scout property, now the Dodge Reservation, there's no way we can eliminate the CPC assessment until after those bonds are paid off, and I believe they're 20-year bonds, if I remember correctly. So, you know, a lot of people seem to have a lot of ideas about things to do, and I think it's important that we kind of get the information out there to let people know what the status of some of these projects and some of these issues are, because I think it seems as though, anyway, unless the issue dies right after the vote tomorrow, that, you know, people are going to show much more of an interest, which is good. We want people to ask questions and be involved and hopefully run for office. And I'll close by just saying tomorrow's the vote from noon to 8 p.m. at the St. Mary's Church basement hall down the back. Whether you're for the override or against the override, I hope that we really have a good turnout of voters, because that's the way democracy works, and that's the reason why town meetings were set up, was to give people a chance to vote on how their money's spent and where it's spent, and this is the obligation that the citizens have to help us run the town, really, for better or worse.
Dave, you mentioned about, was it Raleigh Talks?
Yeah.
I
I don't read it, my wife reads it.
Okay. Okay, I just heard the part about, you know, buildings, you know, about the school, the old school building. Remind everybody that when we looked for land for the fire station, it was a 3-year project to try to find land. We couldn't find land to buy. You know, it's almost next to impossible because of the price, the land prices in the town. And we had to settle on where the police station is beside it, with the fire station beside it. So anything that the town owns, it's highly valuable to the town. And we just, and you're right, we couldn't let that go to rack and ruin, that building. Even its age, it's a historic building that needs to be preserved.
Right. And just keep it in mind that both the school projects and the police fire station had multiple votes, both at town meeting and on the ballot for the last 2 or 3 years. So this isn't something that just sprang up overnight. These have both been long-term needs that have been turned down way in the past. And at this point, the vote is, and town meeting approved them, but the last 3 years has been, up until this year, it's been articles on the town meeting and warrant articles for an override to support those projects. So it's not something that just came out of the blue. This is something that's been planned, a lot of time, a lot of public meetings, a lot of effort's been put in. And, you know, it's sad that all this stuff is coming to fruition at the same time, but we didn't have a lot of control. With the school project, we had to wait until the state was willing to give us 50% funding. And police and fire, we've tried 3 or 4 times, always getting turned down by the voters, and this time they approved it, so.
Yep.
That's my spiel. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anybody else?
No.
No, I said, come on, say.
Okay. We will move on. Sorry, Bernie?
I'd like to make one comment, and that is to congratulate and commend the moderator of the town meeting for moving it along and keeping some loquacious speakers under control and within the time limits. I think she did an outstanding job and got us out of there in a reasonable manner before the bars closed.
Yeah, move along. I think a lot of people had doubts whether we'd get it all in one night. And I have to admit, there wasn't as many questions as I thought there'd be.
Madam Moderator.
Well deserved.
Moderator ran things
I
right
think the
along.
moderator did a great job.
Yes, Madam Moderator.
Should be looking for a raise now. So just keep it.
Thank you, Bernie.
She did an excellent job.
Okay, moving on to new business number 1. Hello, everyone. I've attached a zoning board of appeals application for your review. If you could have your comments to me by the end of day, Monday, May 14th, that would be great. Thanks so much. Lisa Lozzi, Office Administrator, Zoning Board of Appeals.
Mr. Chairman, I spent quite a bit of time looking at this, and it's unclear to me what zoning relief the applicant is looking for. He says in his application that he wants a variance from the requirements of, and then there's a citation to the zoning bylaw, which establishes a setback requirement in the retail district, but that requirement doesn't apply at all to the outlying district, which is where the house is located. So it could be he's looking for a variance from the side lot line, side setback in that district, but I can't see that he's asked for that, so I really don't know what to make of it. But that's all I can say about that.
Anybody else?
I don't know what he's building, but the house is basically falling down. And he's looking for now to have it taken down,
Yeah, it's worse than falling down.
which is kind of too bad.
Yeah.
Because there is a notice out, a note out there, back at the turn of the century, that the telephone was tested in that building.
Well, really?
So that wasn't this century, it was the previous century.
Oh, yeah, a long time ago. They had a little panel set up in the building, and I got a letter stating what they had done.
Well, this was a piece of land that I recall,
Tax title.
the tax title. I remember I went down, and Debbie, did you get out with me? We went-
There's a tree growing inside.
Yeah, the tree was going up to the middle of the house. I mean, it's obviously a tear down. There's nothing, no way you can salvage it, but it's a strange piece of land, because it's a very narrow piece, and then there's a lot of wetland and marshland in the back part, so. Other than that, I don't know about your thing, Cliff, you know more than we do, so, other than that,
I'll mention it to the applicant, just
Okay.
as an aside. I don't
You want to
know.
send your comments to the?
No, I don't.
No, I think it's just-
Okay.
the board should decide that anyway, actually, if they, and you're gonna be there anyway, Cliff, right?
This is the zoning board,
Yeah, no, it's not.
Oh, the zoning board?
No, Zoning Board of
Oh, okay.
Appeals.
but they are looking for comments from the board of selectmen.
Yeah,
on
isn't
the
that-
application, so I don't know if we should
Well,
I-
point that
you
out.
could, I mean, we can, certainly
If the
could.
board agrees with this.
The requirement, that they say they're looking for a special permit from the requirements of section 6.1.3.2.4B. And if you look at that, that's a setback requirement in the retail district. It has no application to the.
All right, so maybe just include that, a quick note.
Well, you need a motion to send that to the Zoning Board of Appeals?
Sure, if there's any other comments.
Any other?
I'll make a motion.
So second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Send that note on to the Zoning Board of Appeals. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. Okay, new business number 2. From Kirk Baker. Hello, everyone. The planning board has an application for a special permit / site plan review for granite repurposing and sales at 124 Newburyport Turnpike across from Swenson's Granite. The applicant is Reed Granite. The site is map 14, lot 29, and is split zoned retail, BLI, business light industrial, and a small amount of OD outlying district at the very back of the parcel. The proposed activities are to take place in the retail and light industrial areas. The planning board is holding the public hearing for this application on Wednesday, May 16, 2018. If you could have your review comments to me by the end of the day, Thursday, May 10th, that would be great. Kurt Baker, Rowley Town Planner. Any comments?
The planning board held an informal meeting with Reed Granite, and one of the first thing we asked them is, are you going to be directly competing with Swenson, because it'll be directly across the street. We thought it seemed kind of odd that two granite places would be there. But Reed Granite maintains that they do something that's different. They repurpose old granite, whereas Swenson is all new granite. So that's the distinction they're making. But that's really not for us to decide. But the other interesting thing is that there's an old barn on that property, so I don't know if you have any
It
knowledge
was
of
up in the
that.
back, there was
Where-
a house, actually, there was a house up there like 15 years ago, probably 10, 15 years ago now.
But they're proposing to restore the barn, which could be kind of nice if they actually
Yeah,
do
the
it.
barn was in good shape the last time I saw
Yeah.
it, but there was a fire up there and it burnt the house down.
And,
It's just kind of been sitting there for a long time now. Now, if you look at it, it cleaned off a lot of the brush and stuff under it.
Mhm.
But the barn is in really good shape.
And I think the other thing, the last thing that should be noted is there is somewhat of a noise issue. The machinery that they're gonna be using to split granite, they claim it'll have the same decibel level as a chainsaw. So, although that will be in the back of they'll be doing this in the back of the property, 380 feet from Route 1. But there is a residence that's fairly close, and there are some businesses, right next door, so. And that's the only issue I can see is the issue of noise. I don't know how long this would be going on, if it would be all day long or just for brief periods of time, but, chainsaws can be pretty loud. But other than that, it seems like a good project for the town.
Bernie?
Is this an existing business? Are they located
They're
somewhere else?
located
at
in
the moment?
Wakefield. They want to move to Rowley, I'm not sure why, I don't know that.
It was funny, because that other one, that computer company just moved up from Wakefield,
Yeah.
up the street, that the one that we went to the open house, Joe.
Yeah.
DMC.
I wonder if they just may know each other, and they kind of, sometimes when one business moves, it starts to attract other businesses, so. Plus, I imagine the two stone places, it's like having a McDonald's and a Wendy's next door to each
Yeah,
other, or
right.
Burger King.
Right.
They help each other out for business, so it might be good for both of them, too.
Yeah, could be.
And they do have a different twist on
Right.
Yeah,
in business, so.
and it certainly would be nice if, it looks like an attractive proposal for
Yeah, no,
terms
it
of
looks,
the
very
site plan
attractive.
looks really nice, so it'd be
a lot of landscape.
It'd be a nice addition out
Yeah.
there, as well as additional tax money, obviously, that
Yeah.
we're looking for.
Any comments to the planning board?
I
No.
don't think so.
I don't think so,
Okay.
right now.
New business number 3, discuss adding additional handicap parking spaces at the Town Hall Annex parking lot. There has been an increase in the number of visitors to the Town Hall Annex with handicap placards. There are currently 2 handicap parking spaces which are consistently being used. Would the board consider increasing the number of handicap parking spaces?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I had a request from a couple of the people that go over to the Council on Aging, and they're looking for, I know on Mondays, there's 3 or 4 people that have placards, and the last one in ends up having to park somewhere else. So I said I would bring the request to the board. And I think at this point, I would request that the board approve up to 5 spaces. Although at this time, I think I would recommend we just add 2 and have 1 more available without having to come back to the board if.
We have 2 there now.
2
and you
there
want-
now,
you're-
so that-
You're proposing
that would-
adding
that
2
would
more.
Add 2 more with an additional 1
With a
more if
parcel.
we need it, but without having to come back to this board.
Yeah, I think
And,
that's good, Dave.
Yeah,
Double it.
and, yeah, we'll see how it goes, because we used to have 1 over there, then we added the new parking lot in the back, that we had to, by law, have a second one. And it's just with the amount of elderly that use that facility over there. Now, we just need the spots.
Seniors.
Yeah, seniors.
Seniors.
Sorry. I know I'm not old. So what I'm looking for is approval to up to 3 more for a total of up to 5 spaces total.
Motion?
I'll give you the motion.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to add up to 3 more.
3 more additional.
We're looking to add 2 and possibly a 3rd space at the Town Hall Annex parking lot. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
I would just ask if the staff could maybe call the highway department, they make the signs up. Just see if they'll make up a couple of signs for us and install them over there. Thank you.
Thank you. New business number 4, authorize the town administrator to renew the fiscal year 19 MIIA property liability and workers' compensation insurance. Debbie is working on the town's insurance policy renewals. She is asking the Board of Selectmen to authorize her to renew the policies for the upcoming fiscal year.
I'll give you the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to allow Debbie to authorize her to renew the policies for the upcoming fiscal year. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. New business number 5. We have a request from Crown Castle to approve the modification of T-Mobile's equipment at the cell tower at 124 Haverhill Street. The item needs to be tabled. Crown Castle is still working on obtaining the requisite approvals from the planning board. Motion to table?
Give you the second.
Motion has been made and seconded to table the request from Crown Castle. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have minutes from March 5th. You were absent?
I'll give you the motion, Mr. Chairman, for March 5th.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, you were.
No, he wasn't.
That was not till the 5th. You're looking at April. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
March 5th.
March
Yeah,
5th,
Robert
I'm
Snow absent, Cliff Pierce absent.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Bob,
I'm here now, but
Second.
I'm not there.
Okay,
Bob second.
Bob second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
You must have been on
Just
vacation.
remember, the next time I gotta be first.
Yes.
I was.
I'll give you a motion to approve April 5th.
I'll second the motion.
Motion has been made to, and seconded to approve the minutes for April 5th of the Board of Selectmen meeting. All those in favor say aye.
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 Last but not least, I'll give you a motion for April 9th.
April 9th.
Second.
Second.
Second,
But Todd, you, Bob for a second.
Mr. Murray.
The other Bob.
All, the motion has been made and seconded to approve the Board of Selectmen meeting minutes for April 9th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And we are at announcements. The town hall election is scheduled for Tuesday, May 8th, 2018, from noon to 8 p.m. at St. Mary's Church Hall. That's tomorrow. The town election is scheduled from noon to 8 p.m. at St. Mary's Church Hall. The Friends of the Council on Aging is sponsoring a shoe drive from mid-April to mid-May at the Town Hall Annex, 39 Central Street. Paired footwear, such as the following, may be deposited in the container at the Annex parking lot. Shoes, boots, work boots, sandals, slippers, flip-flops, heels, sneakers, pocketbooks, purses, backpacks, and belts. The Friends of the Council on Aging are holding an annual bake sale and craft fair at the Town Hall Annex parking lot on May 19th, 2018. The information on the Pine Grove School project is available on the town's website at www.townofrowley.net. The town has the following vacancies: Planning Board Associate, Agricultural Commission Associate, Fence Viewer, 3 positions. Wood, Lumber, and Bark Inspector, Zoning Board of Appeals Associate, 3 seats. Parks and Recreation Committee, 1 seat, and Deputy Shellfish Constables, 2 positions. For more information on these positions, please contact the Selectman's Office at 948-2372. The Rowley Food Pantry is in need of donations. Donations can be left at the Rowley Public Library. The food pantry is open on Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and on Thursdays from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Give me a motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Motion has been made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
All right.